I prepared some questions for Julia. These were unofficial questions that came up to my mind when we started speaking. The first question is, you adore traveling.
That is true.
How has your teaching benefited from that?
Wow, that's very interesting. I always connect teaching to traveling, like in my life, obviously, but I've never thought how it influenced it. I guess maybe because, first of all, I became much more tolerant and patient towards people, and I accept them for what they are, because, believe it or not, but some years ago, I was not that open and not that tolerant, so I was a little bit judgmental from time to time, and now I feel like I've opened up a little bit, and I gained some sort of different perspective, and I see people, and I understand that everybody is flawed, along with me, and I try to be more patient. That's a very deep question.
Do you sometimes tell stories from the countries where you have been?
Yeah, I think so. I try not to go into details because of, teacher talking time and stuff like that. But yeah, sometimes I relate to some of the failures on my way, for instance, or especially if it's Australia, New Zealand, America, I can actually talk about native speakers and what I notice in their speech, for instance. So yeah, but not too much, because it's not about me, right, the classes, so...
Well, if it's a quality teacher talking time, I think students should be exposed more to this.
Yeah, but again,
I did CELTA, and I do know all those rules, but frankly speaking...
No, you don't agree 100%?
No, I do not agree.
That's what I'm worried about, because I'm taking CELTA in 2 months,
and I'm Really?
I'll be arguing
you have
with
decided.
them.
I knew that you wanted.
Yes, I already paid
it's
the
okay.
first enrollment.
It's okay. You will survive it.
Yeah,
and I think you will take something from it and you will implement into your classes. But my forecast is you will keep your teaching personality.
I hope so. That is not
and it's your teaching personality that will help you go through CELTA and take something from CELTA, because it was how it was with me. The first 2 weeks, I was completely lost. I even I remember when I was going from one tutor to another one. I even cried at home.
Lots of people do.
Yes, but I cried because how can I put it? I conducted a class which I considered to be very low quality. I didn't manage to do half of the things that I had expected to do. And so while I was thinking about it at home, I thought that, that's going to be a failure. And it was my first class with the second tutor. But when we came and there was feedback, she gave me such excellent feedback that I just...
You're disappointed, yeah? I see so many...
No. I was under so much pressure, and I was expecting to be, ruined. My class and everything, but it was totally unlike what I had expected. So that's why, my nerves didn't stand it, and I just started crying.
Interesting.
Yeah, but it's going to be very tough.
Yeah, that's what I expect. No time for sleeping.
Yes.
Yeah. But the only thing that I'm worried is that if they try to impose their own, view on teaching, they will, right?
You can pretend that
I know,
you like it for a while.
We just said, I'm very sincere. I just can't.
No. When I was doing CELTA, I had more than 15 years of experience myself, and it was very difficult for me
to accept it. Yeah, right.
Not to accept it, but to get adjusted to the way of teaching they have, because it's kind of tough instruction and strict rules, and they see to that the rules are followed, and that's why. And it's because of that constant pressure. You always have things to do. You always have to read. You always have to write plans, to write feedback, to write essays, and everything.
So there's no room for improv or some sort of creativity.
There is room.
There is.
Yeah. The second 2 weeks was my improvisation mostly. They stopped looking at my plans. They told me, Lena, you can do by yourself. Go on. And the last class I did basing on the interview that I had done with Jem Horwich, an English lady with whom I stayed when I was in England.
Okay.
So you will have room for improvisation, but it's not going to be easy.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure you will survive. I'm looking forward to hear your impressions after you've done it.
Yeah, actually, what I'm planning to, I'm not sure how tough it's going to be, but I'm planning to sort of let everybody know, like update everybody on what I feel like, you know, what we're doing and stuff like that, because I think it could be useful.
But again, as you say, CELTAs, CBEs, other certificates is not the thing that we should judge teachers by.
No, not at all. I was actually strongly against it, and to be honest with you, I'm taking it only because I feel like, okay, what if it can give me something? And also because then if I take it, I can share with others, like, what are my feelings? Because now I'm saying, okay, I believe it's useless, for instance. Not useless, but like, maybe it's not going to give you that much. And, you know, but I don't really, like, I can't judge it properly because I haven't taken it myself. Right?
And there will be people. There will be very good, very inspired teachers, as you are. So you will make
from all over the world. So it's going to be multicultural.
Where are you going to take it?
In Australia.
In Australia?
Yes.
Oh my. In the country of your dream.
Yes, that's why I thought, okay, I should be able to give this to myself as a present.
Okay. Well, I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And I wish you to have a strong A.
I hope so. Let's see.
Okay. Next question.
Okay.
You say you are an adrenaline junkie.
A little, yeah.
Does this have any impact on your teaching in terms of choosing topics for discussion or something else?
I would say especially my speaking classes are always influenced by my choice of topics and sometimes I feel like a little bit insecure because I'm like, okay, I chose it because it's interesting for me, but is it interesting for everybody else? But I haven't even had any classes on like extreme sports or anything like that. Maybe I should. It's a good idea.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe with someone like-minded.
Yeah.
Who have the same craze for these things.
Yeah, absolutely. We did have a class on bucket list. So usually it is connected to some sort of activities that are related to taking risks and stuff like that. But yeah, not really. Because I understand that this is my personal characteristics. And it's not like, you know, some people are just not into this, so they wouldn't want to.
But what if it lights you up?
It does, for sure.
So you become more enthusiastic and you are a nicer view as a teacher to look at, and probably other people will be willing to also share their experiences. And
it might be contagious.
Now your turn. Are you crazy about anything like I am about traveling and everything?
Yeah, true. But you see, traveling and adrenaline junkies, like,
I know.
More specific, as some people just have phobias, or they just think it's.
You could talk about phobias.
And taking risks. We did. Yeah, you're right. Yes, I actually had a class on fear. And yes, true. Yeah. But it's just like there are some sorts of like reasonable phobias, you know, when you're afraid of heights, and it makes sense. But you know, there are some of them, like mine, for instance. I hate insects and gas stoves, which is ridiculous.
I did diving once, but I'm afraid of heights.
Heights, not depth.
No, with depth, I used to be afraid of depth, but after I did that diving thing, I think, I swim well and I can dive pretty deep. And
so you didn't get like a panic attack or anything like that?
At first, my instructor, it wasn't a very interesting story. I always tell it to my students. It was in the Red Sea when I was in Egypt.
You're lucky.
It was very, very beautiful, very beautiful. And when we finally got down, after I had coped with all the, fear I had and everything, I completely forgot about the rules. You know, they have this silent language.
This.
Well, this means okay, you're fine. This means you're relatively okay. This means you want to go up. So, what did I show? What did I show when I finally saw all this and I just put up with all my insecurities and everything? My instructor asked me just silently how I was, and I said,
so you misled them. Did he take you out?
Yeah, he tried to, and I had to, to fight.
Struggle.
And I won.
Oh my goodness. He wasn't strong enough.
Yeah, this is how important. If you learn the language, you need to practice it.
Yes, absolutely.
In order to not to
in
get...
different situations, not
yeah.
just like in theory.
Yeah,
For sure.
So, but I'm afraid. I'm totally afraid of heights.
So you wouldn't go skydiving or anything? Like paragliding?
Well, if someone tried to convince me to talk me into that, maybe I would. But
I could.
Okay, we will talk about it after our shooting. Another question is, taking into consideration that you spend more time abroad than you are in Russia, what Russian things do you miss when you live out there?
Mm-hmm. What Russian things, so not people.
By things, I mean everything.
Like,
I didn't want us
right.
to restrict it by...
Okay. Bread.
That
was my initial
typical answer.
Yeah, because I crave bread a lot. Like, our proper Russian, like, rye, dark bread, because everything that they sell, like, in Asia or even Australia, well, you can find some sort of bakeries, but you really need to look for it. Whereas here, any baker, any store has, like, proper bread. What else? Sometimes I miss our Soviet movies and, like, this... Yeah, so things like that are deeply embedded in our culture, like even maybe like some sort of music, not modern music, but music from like the 90s or anything like that. Or I miss... Okay, I'm gonna be like very sentimental right now.
Yes, please be.
I miss that Russians are like not superficial, like some sort of other foreigners. Not everybody, obviously, but like only with Russians you can really have such a deep talk about some sort of philosophical things, and I miss it so much. Like every single time I come back and we meet up with my friends, I'm like so astonished, because even if we start from, I don't know, some sort of like very superficial topic, I don't know, like something very, very like not deep, what is it called? Like shallow, let's say. And then somehow we turn it into a very philosophical topic, and then we, with like heated discussions and like everybody expresses their opinion. I really lack it when I'm abroad, because I feel like most talks are not that deep. They're just...
Is it because they don't want to let you just nearer to them, or
maybe it's this mysterious Russian soul, that we're famous for, and then
maybe Russians just read more.
Possibly.
And they have some thoughts to discuss.
Or maybe because we read our Russian literature, which is also very deep, like Dostoevsky, for instance, and it just inspires us to search, and for the meaning of life, or like things like this. Maybe. I'm not completely sure. Maybe it has to do with our history. A history that was really tough, when people had to survive, and maybe, I'm not completely sure. But I could say that Latin people are very similar to us in this regard, because I don't know, there's a lot of similarity between our mentalities. So I could also talk about... So people from, again, don't want to generalize, but people from poorer regions in our world, they are also a little deeper, a little less superficial.
Okay.
Yeah. So
thank you for this sincere answer. In Julia's group, you will find a lot of webinars where she talks about different aspects of teaching and of learning the languages. So now I'm just going to ask her very few questions, maybe about things that she hasn't told us about yet.
Okay, there's something.
Yeah, I know that you teach online.
Yeah.
Almost all the time, or all the time now.
Yeah.
All the time
I
now.
have turned to it completely.
Yeah. And so have there been any funny or odd or unusual moments in your online lessons?
Oh.
What I mean, well, when maybe something went wrong, or when there was a misunderstanding, or just like people have in their life lessons, some funny moments. Yes. What has been?
Well, first of all, I would say that it's amazing that I get to teach teachers, because usually everybody has some little stories that they want to share from their own classes, like some sort of funny stories, or like occasions that are worth sharing. Of course, there's always something that is connected to Wi-Fi, or like, and I've noticed that it's either like, you have two different cases. It's either if you start a class and everything goes smoothly, like, and nobody has any problems, no glitches, nothing. And then The second time you start the class, and then every single person has to have something, like somebody's earphones stop working, or my connection is bad, or somebody. It's like, it accumulates, and it feels like,
especially if you have students from all over the world.
Yes, yeah, from different cities, and so it's just like, and it's kind of like funny because you're like, okay, one more thing, and it's I
remember once I wanted to join the class so much that I was even just connecting with you from the underground.
Yes,
and you had to cut me off because I was interfering with lots of noises and everything.
Yeah. Or people like constantly, especially in the pronunciation course, people constantly mute themselves, not just because of the connection, but because they want to repeat after everybody, and then they completely forget that they muted themselves, and then they start talking, and I'm like, no.
Do you have power to turn them on?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes it doesn't work for some reason. Maybe they have their own, I don't know. Like they're more powerful than me, I don't know. But sometimes I'm like, yes, I'm trying to unmute you, but do something because we can't hear you.
Mm.
So usually they're connected to some sort of connections, or maybe because, for example, in speaking classes, if there is a topic that is very provocative, people usually share their opinions, which might be very rigid, and like it's pretty funny. But I can't think of any particular moment.
Have there been, in your speaking classes, have there been any clashes because people had really different opinions about things? Serious ones?
Yeah, and sometimes, to be honest with you, I'm like shocked because everybody's, mature adults, and like everybody understands that here, yes, of course, our priority is to discuss different topics, and I always try to choose something that will somehow affect, not just their English, but also their personal life, maybe their sort of perspectives of views, and so that's why, of course, there's always like room for some sort of argument, but there were a few times when I had to like literally say break, stop. This is just a class, we don't have to get personal or anything, but I guess there hasn't been anything too aggressive, let's say. Just a little bit, but I feel like still people, it just happens not even because of the topic, but because maybe it's just a coincidence, and this person had a very tough day, for instance, and that lady, for some reason, maybe they don't like each other much, or so there's some sort of other reason, not just because of the topic. So that's why I always try to remind myself that there's always this personal factor that you have to take into consideration.
Yeah. But I think that you are so friendly that you set the tone, and people try to follow this. And
but then again, because on Zoom you can separate the people into breakout rooms, right?
Yep.
So, and that means, for instance, sometimes it might be like a couple that
started throwing plates at each other.
So, into the camera. But I'm not even there, because I'm like watching the other couple. So I'm like, what? But it happens rarely. Usually people, especially because most people, they are teachers, so they have to understand that this thing might